tennis Crier here in the Dominican Republic, and we have the Dominican Republic Country Club here. You have some tennis rackets, tennis balls, trophies, picture of Roger Federer, and Amelia. And what's your name, sir? Sandali, who's actually going to let us play for a little bit on old school clay courts, sand on top of real clay, just like the old days. I'll show you those in a little bit. What you're looking at, guys, is not a pile of sand on the beach with a tennis ball in it. This is actually a tennis court. Old school clay soil with loose sand sprinkled on top and also embedded within the base. It's fantastic. It's stuff you might have seen in the Caribbean and those areas, but this is the Caribbean, the Dominican Republic, but you would have seen this in the Mediterranean back around 1900. You see this a lot. Very hard sandy base. You can see the hard base right here. You can hear the scrapes. What you also find on courts like this, besides the fact that they do get awfully dry fast, the clay underneath can crack. And on top of that, the sand that's combined with the clay, and there's of course some silt and other particles, but you can see it becomes as hard as a rock. If we can get my hand here and here. There we go. I don't know if you can hear this, but that is hard. You hear me scraping on it? That's a big part of the reason why Italian clay court tennis is so quick. In places like Rome that compact the surface a lot, the sandy layers in there within the clay actually really hardens, and the crushed brick in those courts really slides across. Now, we don't have any crushed brick here. This is, like I said, old school. It's just sand on top, but it's a gritty, it's very gritty, and you can hear it, and you can see it. It's very slippery. This is actually an old school, fast, baked hard by this incredible sun down here. Hard base with a gritty top sand that, now here you can, there's the problems you have with this kind of a thing. This is much softer right here. So this is a lot, and I'm digging down a bit, and there you go. There you go, if we can get that focused. Right in here, that's a lot, that's the sand right there, you can see it. How much sand combined with the clay. But the point is that you get a load of bad bounces, because right there it's pretty soft, and we come right over here, and hard as a rock. Hard as a rock right there. The ball hits there, that takes a jump. Ball hits there, it dies. So that's part of the reason they went to crushed brick and the different bases like limestone and other kind of bases to make it more consistent bounce. If Novak Djokovic or Nadal were playing on this, they'd have a fit. They would quit after one game and complain. But for us, it's fantastico. And if you get a closer look, you can see all the sand in the different particles, different sizes. So you have some bigger particles, some smaller particles. On a hard base, this makes for a very slippery court. On a soft base, this will be very slow. So what we have here is areas that are very hard, like right here, where you can see it's so hard it's like rock. Some places on the island, a lot of places, they actually have sand cliffs that are just as hard as rock. But other spots on this court where it's taken the water better and there's probably more clay involved, and some of the top dressing sticks much better. It's much softer. And so therefore you'll get some real hard bounces and some real soft bounces. But in general, we see some people playing on the courts around here. In general, this is a hard base. This is old school continental, not a lot of top dressing. It blows around a lot. Very hot. The sun here in the Dominican Republic bakes these courts, again, as you see here. Sometimes it can crack. They've watered this a lot, it looks like today, so it's not too cracked. But, and it's old school drainage too, as you see here. They have it leveled off properly, so the water that they put on here will just drain. But again, sand drains really well. Like in Rome, they don't even cover the courts because it drains so well when it rains. So, this is a sandy court
It doesn't have crushed brick on it. This is old school. But in Rome, it was a mixture of crushed brick and sand, and it's the same stuff that Davydenko complains, because again, when you get something like this, it is going to skid. And Davydenko doesn't have time then. And of course, a lot of bad bounces, but it really can teach you how to play, how to move your feet, how to set up properly, and how to anticipate all different kinds of bounces, which I wasn't able to do because I play too much on hard courts like a lot of Americans. Here we have some of that. I showed you some of the real hard stuff. Here you can, this is very soft. Now this is much more like, if I dig in more here, this is what you're going to find in up in the north, New York City. We have clay courts much more like this. It's very soft. And you can hear it with my foot. A lot of top dressing gathers here. It's very clay-like. We'll come right over here and look at the difference. That's the white. As I was just about to leave the courts, I picked up on this, some sort of orangey type of pink granular material in the court. You can see right here. Really not sure what that is, to be honest. Looks too orange to be limestone. There's a couple other over here. You can see it better right there. I'm going to have to ask, and I'll have to get back to you on that. Go. Hey guys, Crier here. I just got done with a game of tennis in the Dominican heat. I'm exhausted. It's amazing how much the speed of the ball changed when the sun went down. I'm not kidding. We had to move up into the court to get to the balls. The balls that were jumping almost over our head when the sun was glaring down earlier while we were playing. Anyways, with a learning experience, found out that the actual sand is river sand from a riverbed, and the clay is a clay silt mixture that also comes from the riverbed. You packed it down, baked hard by the sun, and it's old school clay courts, and it was tough. You could not tell what's going to bounce where, but it was fun. And now it's time to go eat.